sneakers aren't built for repairing.
Yeah.
They're built for like one-time use, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's not just like restoring a pair of shoes. Like practically, yeah, I am, but at the same time, you're restoring what memories associated with that shoe. It's got that punk attitude to be like, fuck you, I do what I want.
Yeah.
And it's so cool and empowering. I get a shoe and I look at the construction, look how it's made, look at the materials, and then look how beat they are and the flimsiness of it. And then I search online, like 170. We're charging like big money for a shoe that's shit, basically.
Yes, mates, what's happening? What's new? My name is Thomas Griffin. This is My Own Garms, and on this week's ep, I'm sitting down with footwear wizard Vinnie Tao from Sneaker Pharm. Vinnie loves shoes, restoring them, tweaking them, Frankensteining them, anything that will give them a longer, better, or more loved life. He's an appreciator of great design and the value that can create in an object, and I'm buzzing to chat to him about his combined love of footwear culture and sustainability. Now, if you're loving this series of My Own Garms and you want to show some love for what we're doing on here, get over to patreon.com/myowngarms and chuck us a few quid. There's a few levels depending on how flush you're feeling, and if you're skint, that's cool. We'll just keep doing what we're doing anyway. Big shout out to the musicians whose tunes you've heard on this series. Ocsar Kenny, Sam Black, Dave Shurr. We're very grateful to you lot for sharing your ace music with us, and also a big thanks to Trailberg who are supporting the series. Appreciate you lot a lot. Right, let's get to it. This is Vinnie Tao on My Own Garms.
My Own Garms.
So Vinnie, how is it going, mate? Thanks for having us in the shop.
No worries, it's nice having you in the shop. It's a fun thing to do. Like this shop, I've seen it before. I mean, I'm sure everyone watching this has seen it and seen the quality. So I was like, I kind of want to be on it.
Aww.
Now we're on it, which is dope. So thanks for having me on. And yeah, it's great to have you guys in here and check out the spot.
It's a beautiful spot, man. Like the shelves we were just admiring before.
Yeah. You've
got them adorned with all the interesting things, all of the big hits from Sneaker Pharm's last few years of existence.
Yeah, a little bit of fun stuff on there. Yeah, I just...
Repping Proper Mag on there, the autumn copies. Come in and get yourself one if you're in the area. But yeah, man, buzzing. So we've had a mate of yours on a previous episode, Tim McTavish, at this thing of ours. You are both alumni. I nearly always say Illuminati when I speak. You're alumni of Hatch down the road. Tell us a bit about that place and how Sneaker Pharm started.
So I started in 2018, and around the time it was kind of like I knew. I did a whole business plan. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew where I wanted to be. It was city centre. So it was like, how do I start a business in the city centre with no money, no following, and pretty much no clue what I'm doing, which is a bit wild. Like I had a general idea of what I wanted to be doing, and it was just trying to piece that together. And then I was just looking like city centre, I really want to be in there. I found a peer here, they're huge in like London, and they're like an estate agent but for like pop-ups.
All right.
So that was cool. So I contacted them. They were like, oh, we're gonna have to do this. And I was like, right, that sounds long. They put me in touch with the people at Hatch,
which was a new thing back then, right?
Yeah. Hatch was like it's like, imagine was it Box Park in Shoreditch?
Yeah.
Filled with independents. It's like an independent village under like a flyover, which is a part of town that was disused for a long time. It got developed to be a place for like independents to start up. So I was like, this is perfect for me. I had like an 8x10 shipping container.
Yeah.
So that was tiny compared to what I'm in now, but like it was probably like probably where we're sat now.
But you still made it a wicked space, man. I think I popped my head in when I went to see Tim. I think I popped my head in to you then, and you know, even though it was 8x10, which is like a downstairs toilet kind of size room, it still had a feel to it, you know.
That's cool.
Is that something that you kind of set out to do from the start?
It was more like, because I was doing something on my own and it was like controversial to what other people were doing. Everyone's like getting jobs, so like everyone my age was in a job, and like doing the thing way ahead of me. They were way further. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to do something, I want it to represent me. Like, because when people see it, walk past, oh, that's Vin's shop. It had to be right. Like down to the shelving, the flooring, like how it looked and how it felt. Like I think it's an important part of like building a brand.
Yeah, man.
So it was like, it was just marketing, because I had a business background, so it was like product, price, place, promotion. So I was like, okay, cool. So
they're the four P's of a successful business.
Product, price, marketing mix, product, price, place, promotion, and there's another one I can't remember what it was, but yeah,
making loads of peas.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the idea. But then all mixed up, drawing influences like music and like, you know, which designers I'm into, which interiors I like, and it's kind of adding all those bits together. So it's kind of cool, like, to set up in a space like that with low risk. And then I met really good friends next to me were Susie Loves Milo.
Yeah.
So they kind of
get them on this at some point.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, they're great. I love them.
Wicked.
They were really championing me and can be like supporting me from the beginning. I think without them, like that community that we built at Hatch, without those guys in particular, I would have been like, you know, I would have given up or way earlier. It's just them like putting people onto me, and you know, I'm trying to put people onto them as well. And it
sounds very vibrant, very geared towards growth, and you know,
it was just a load of people doing things.
Yeah,
that was it. And it was kind of, we all had the same kind of interest and the kind of same style and like ethos and thinking. And then Tim came in a couple of months afterwards, and then I loved his shop. But this was before he was at Tanzaro House and where he's now, his flagship. But it was a cool insight into him as a person, because then like it was a bit different because he was starting out, not like people didn't see that, and they didn't see the hard work that everyone puts in at the beginning, where you're trying to get contracts. So it was cool to see him take a risk. That was we were just risk takers and doing things that we wanted to do. So that was inspiring to see where he's gone now.
Smashing it, man. It's an amazing spot, isn't it? Not a million miles from here. You've all fledged, you've all emigrated to the city centre, I guess, from Hatch.
I think so, yeah. We've all done pretty well. We've all landed on our feet, touch wood, so far, and it's like on to better things now, which is kind of cool. It's fun.
Man. So I guess that kind of takes us towards this place. You mentioned in the bonus footage that it's been open just over a year now. It's a proper treasure trove in here. There's like shoes in all varying states, you know, stuff that's just been dropped off that's kind of broken or dirty, waiting to be given a new lease of life by you. And then these amazing creations that were kind of surrounded by the Umbro. Have they got a name, these ones?
No, I don't know. They're just, I didn't name them or anything. It was just
fucking hell, there's a donk rave out there. Where's that coming from?
Northern Quarter. That adds to the charm of this place. So we're like a grade 2 listed building, but outside it's like a juxtaposition of that. So the Umbro it came about in a really cool way. So like I think Trust Archives dropped something off, and my friends over there, he dropped a pair of Margellas. So then they operate in that like high fashion kind of context space, and they like create great videos and like content based on that. And then through that, I think someone from Umbro found that and then reached out to me, and then just popped in and was like, here's some shoes, can you turn them into like normal shoes? I was like, I've never done anything like that.
Footy boots, like it's a classic football boot silhouette, right? Yeah,
that's it. So like the original shoe, because I remember being a kid, sat on a D team or whatever and playing footy, looking at my Umbros going like, why am I even here? Like, but that was one of the things that stood out. I was Umbros and like Adidas Predators as a kid. There was two, like David Beckham was Predators, and then everyone wore Umbros. When you think back to it, it kind of has a coolness to it, because it's like no one really cared about the brand, and people fell off about it, but then like it's kind of cool. It's edgy. That's what I like. It's not mainstream. Like,
but it's nostalgic for our generation. It's nostalgic, and for kids, you know, who are just kind of coming into their fashion tastes and things like that. It's cool looking back on old styles and repurposing them for the modern age. And I guess that's what you've done with the kind of chunky. Is it a Vibram sole on there?
That is, yeah. So he brought them in. He was like, turn these into a normal shoe, and I was like, you know what? I kind of like how I said it's like the underdog brand. Like no one really like paid attention to it, and then I was like, that's kind of punk. I like that. I like supporting like doing stuff with things that have no rules, like Nike and all these other guys. They're massive companies that have set rules, like you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, and it's like clean cut. Everything's like edited and doctored, whereas this was like, do what you want. And I was like, do what I want. That's great. And it happened because, like I said before in the bonus bit, I follow a lot of like high-end fashion stuff, and I see it trickling down to like normal clothes. And like Slam Jam has just released that collection, Penalty Culture,
with the mask,
balaclava, anorak and hoodie.
That like plaid check hoodie with the mask is so dope, man.
That's mythical now. Like, it was so hard to get, and it sold out everywhere, but like it was instant classic. And I think I like what they're drawing, they're taking the direction for it. So then I was like,
get themselves, they get the culture of themselves, I think, don't they?
yeah, I think that's and they're allowed to be, tongue in cheek and play with it because it's not like edited or anything. That's why I like them. It's kind of raw.
And it's that collaborative mindset. I guess when someone brings a shoe in for you with a concept and you and them have a collaborative creativity then, don't you?
I like it, yeah. I like when people come in and go, here's free reign, do what you want.
Yeah.
Because it takes the pressure off me to be like, well, I can
Should that put the pressure on me? I'd be like, you're judging my judgments now.
Judging my taste. But I was confident because I was like, okay, let's just do it. Let's try to make this into a shoe. And like, it's a shoe, it's not big in England. Like no one really does it. But it's more prevalent in America. So I've got I follow places in America like Goods and Services and Samuel Falzoni. So he's based in New York, one's based in LA. But they're like taking old shoes, doing them all, like fixing them, repairing them, like resoling it. So then that was kind of informing me of what to do. So I've never done it before, so I just took the shoe, took it apart, and I was like, what am I doing here? And then bit by bit, I was like, okay, you know what you're doing. Create like a welt around it. And then I was like, it kind of looks like a brogue. And I kind of like the whole juxtaposition, like punk, school shoe kind of thing.
Yeah.
So then I was like, right, how do I make this into like kind of formal wear-ish, adjacent, like Slam Jam would fit in with the penalty culture. So I did the brogue look, create the brogue, put it on a Vibram sole, and then put the little, I don't know what they're called, like tassels?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
That's what I call them on a loafer, tassel loafer.
Yeah, but there's another name for it, but like
a fringe, like, or something.
Yeah, something like that.
What it looks like.
So I add that on, and then I was like, oh, okay, we've fully made a brogue here.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting the reaction that I got, but I was like excited because I was like, this is something new. This is great that I've never done it before, and I've executed to a point where I enjoy it. Because again, everything I put out, it's a representation of me. That's how I see it. So it's like my work and my taste level. So then he came and collected it. I sent him pictures like, oh, those are great. This is sick. Took them off, and then it just went off. I put a post about it, and then they posted about it. And then James, that's his name, he posted on his own social. It just went off.
Deserved, man. Like, it's an incredible piece of art. Like, what a concept and what execution.
Thanks, man.
So the question I've got written down was going to be asking you how Sneaker Pharm had changed since the inception to the kind of stuff that you're turning out today. But I guess I can kind of ask it in reverse, in that when you did start out as a predominantly sneaker cleaning business, did you ever envisage working on things like the Umbro football boot?
Like I said before, I just had a business plan. I knew I wanted to be in fashion, but I didn't have any formal training, so I was like, well, I can't get into fashion because it's always like I perceived it as like ivory tower. You have to have the Central St. Martin's and all this stuff. Like, you have to be on it. I was different world. I didn't have that. I didn't have any experience or any training in what I'm doing now either. So I started originally just being like, okay, we're going to set up this space, we're going to deal with shoes, and we're going to provide shoe cleaning, because I thought, like, there's a gap in market, no one's doing it. Bar from like people like Jason Marks and stuff, in London and stuff like that. So I started that off, and then I just started getting more people asking, can you fix shoes? I was like, I can't, I don't even know how to sew. So then that need for me to kind of grow and like change and expand was from consumers. So me trying to figure out how to fix certain things led me to kind of develop my own skills. Because I went at it backwards. I'm like starting something with no skill and then kind of building up organically as to the problems that I got. So then people were like, can you fix this? And then I learned about shoe construction just like through the internet and like through manuals and guides and taking stuff apart and figuring it out that way. And then learning about materials, and then learning about what's the restrictions and limitations that certain things have, and then try to figure out, right, so I'm limited by this because everyone wants the shoe to be exactly as it was when it first got it. So then that's difficult because I don't have a factory. So then it was like scaling up, saving up for machines, then learning the machine, and then doing things, and then buying sewing machines, learning that. And each specific thing has a specific machine. So I was limited by space as well. So 8x10 space. And then I moved to a slightly bigger space, which was double the size, but not amazingly big. So fitting cleans in for the day to day, and then going home and then learning about shoe construction, learning about traditional shoemaking, all that stuff all came into play. And then kind of just developed to a point where I'm still not confident, I'm still learning. So it's like, get to a point where I kind of know what I'm doing, but it's the materials that we're working with, it's not like brand new. And there's always limitations in that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like problem solving, trying to fix a problem which people haven't identified as a problem or don't care to kind of repair. Like sneakers aren't built for repairing.
Yeah.
They're built for like one-time use. And that's it.
Yeah, and you want to change that, I guess.
I want to change it, yeah. It's a bit wasteful. It's like, well, why throw something which is... Usually the sole goes. That's the number one. I think once the sole's gone, people go, write them off, throw them away. But the uppers are fine. So how do you create something that kind of like solves that problem? And then I've worked with Vibram. They're
I was going
great.
to say, they've stepped in and partner with you. And
I wouldn't say it's partnership, but they're like, as a whole, they're providing a gap in the market, which is like... giving aftermarket soles to people like me that can fix it. I'd love to work with them, but I think they've got like a specific kind of sales contract here through one wholesaler, so that they're our supplier, so we have to go through them. But they're providing options to change soles. So I've seen like loads of different things. I'm in the process of making a lookbook. So I think it's being creative, but also understanding that the market and consumers want a specific thing.
Yeah.
And when they can't get that specific thing, they just go, nah, I'll leave it, which is a bit wild because it's like the shoe costs 180 quid.
Yeah.
It's fine otherwise. I can't swap it. Well, I can swap it for another Air Max because they go, I want it to look like an Air Max 95. I'm used to Air Max 95. I'm not going to budge from that. I don't care.
Yeah.
So it makes it difficult because Nike don't sell soles.
Yeah.
I wish they did. I mean, if anyone from Nike is watching this, I'm going to look at the camera. Please introduce like an aftermarket kind of sales for stuff. Like,
be in their interest going forward as well, I guess,
100%. Whoever is watching this from a footwear company, be the first one to do it. Introduce like authorized repairers, authorized parts, like cars. You buy a Porsche, the exhaust falls off. You're not going to buy a new Porsche, are you, to get the exhaust off that? You buy a replacement exhaust.
Yeah.
So Vibram have stepped in to do that. They provide aftermarket exhausts, or in this case, soles.
Yeah.
They don't look the same. That's the problem. So when you put a silhouette, I love it though, when you put like a mountain climbing boot sole onto like a 95, I love that stuff. I love like hybrids and like the way stuff changes and becomes individual in itself and it takes on a new character. I want to champion that, so I'm trying to push that. So I'm creating like a lookbook in the works of different silhouettes. I'm going to try and get through every single shoe combination, every sole combination, but they have like 300-400 different soles. So it's like filtering out the good ones, adding it, doing the work to do it, and then having options for people to see. I think people need to visually see something to get it.
Exciting, man. Like, I can't wait to see the lookbook.
Yeah.
From the bits that I've seen that you've created already, that's going to be an amazing thing to just hold in your hand, like, as well as a resource for people.
Rep your ends.
So you are from North Manchester, right? Whereabouts specifically?
It's originally, Whitefield originally, so just like literally about 15 minutes from town.
Yeah.
So I've always been around Manchester and based around Manchester.
Yeah.
So grew up here, hung out around Northern Quarter before it was cool to hang out in Northern Quarter.
So tell us a little bit about the kind of clothes that you were seeing around where you grew up and when you were coming into town as a young kid. What were people wearing around here then? And maybe kind of how much of that rubbed off on you?
Fashion wasn't always conscious, but it was like a thing that I would think about. Like I remember being a kid in primary school and we had this cool bomber jacket that was being sold in Tesco's.
All right.
It was like a blue bomber jacket, like a flight coat jacket. And
that
then
was like a micro trend within your specific school.
For some random reason, me and a couple of mates were like, oh, we really want it, so we just wore matching jackets. So I was like, oh, I feel like this is cool.
Like a little street gang,
like with a bomber jacket, Harrington jacket, walking around, like whatever. And then that was probably my earliest kind of experience of like feeling a certain way after wearing something.
All right.
It's like a representation of like, oh yeah, we're cool.
An usness, like togetherness with your mates, I guess.
Yeah. That kind of took a back thing because, being in school, you have to wear a uniform.
Yeah.
I didn't really go out much as a kid. I wasn't a very cool kid. So I just stayed indoors, really. I was like indoor kid, played games. Like this was like the dawn of the internet. So you had an MSN and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like Counter-Strike.
I think the
So those
games
kind
you
of
were playing, mate, I mean, we looked at a Techwear fit in the bonus section before. Do you think computer games influenced the kind of things that you were excited by or into?
Maybe, yeah, because it's like sci-fi based and stuff. Like some games I was sci-fi based, and I was like, Warhammer was a thing.
Yeah.
Back then, like what, you know, where you could create little miniatures.
Yeah.
And like paint them. That was like really. I think there's a series called 40K, which is like
All right.
140K, which is set obviously in year 40,000.
Right.
So everything was futuristic. So maybe that has crept in, and like movies definitely.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching Blade and like Matrix.
Yeah, so
that was
sick, man.
huge when it first came out, and it was like that was the kind of thing maybe that led it onto it. But then as I got older, I kind of took the wayside, and now I was wearing suits predominantly. Then I got really into like formal wear. That's where the style changed. So like when I was wearing formal wear and stuff like that, I mean, casually it was like I was into hardcore punk and stuff like that, and like that kind of scene of music.
Yeah.
Like emo was a huge thing. So
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
was wearing drain pipes, black everything, stuff like that. But I was more like alternative, kind of like Pixies and stuff like that. I let the music that I listened to dictate what I wore. I think everyone did.
Yeah, same, man. So you're kind of dressing like the people that made the music that you were into at the time.
Yeah, like Radiohead and stuff like that. And like,
Okay.
what would a Radiohead fan wear? And like stuff. I was in like played like skinniest jeans. And I didn't, weren't really that many options back then. It was like Top Man was the number
Yeah,
one. Like
yeah.
you'd go to would be Top Man, and then American Apparel. That
Yeah.
was the thing.
Did one of them open in Manchester when you were at an age where you were buying that kind of stuff?
What Top Man?
More American Apparel more.
Oh yeah, American Apparel. Yeah, that crept in like a little bit around 2000. I want to say 7, 8.
Yeah, 06, 07, 08, it was in Vice magazine at like all the time. I was in Liverpool at that time, and they opened a store, and it was like, yeah, proper like
that was it.
inspiring.
Yeah, because it was Urban Outfitters. They were doing like their take on band tees.
Yeah.
So that was cool for me.
Yeah.
Like I was like kind of mainstream. I was just like buying stuff on the high street. And then, yeah, you had Enter Shikari in the
Yeah.
charts. You had Hadouken.
Okay.
Just that kind of music was
Yeah.
in. Like Ting Tings were like number one or whatever. So like everyone was dressing like indie.
When you say
American
formal wear, are you talking about like kind of skinny jean blazer jacket kind of thing? Is that-
Cardigans.
All right,
Yeah,
okay.
that kind of vibe. It was like indie, very much
Yeah,
indie
yeah.
based. And I think that was the vibe for a long time. And then later on, that's when I like discovered like I was really into like hardcore punk music, and it was just like black t-shirt, everything like Glassjaw. I was like New York fashion really, because like Glassjaw were one of my favorite
Yeah,
bands.
sick band, man.
So then they were heavily influenced by New York stuff, and then my development happened after that, because it was like, this is cool, like East Coast kind of hardcore, and then you move into rap. And like these cultural things kind of just were in my head and ingrained. Like MTV, Kerrang were huge.
Yeah.
So I was taking loads of inspiration from that, and then eventually just the dawn of the internet was great, because then like it matured a bit, and then you could go, I want this.
Yeah,
and then
you
can
could
go
get
and-
that on eBay or whatever.
Yeah.
Ace, man, that kind of covers a little bit of Manchester and growing up there and kind of growing up digital a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want to touch on your grandparents now. So they emigrated over to England from Hong Kong. Like, what year would that have been?
I want to say like 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my dad got here in the 60s.
Okay.
When he was like 12.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
Okay.
maybe slightly before that.
I think I read in another interview that you did with someone else, can't remember which one it was, I should really cite my sources here, about a formative experience going trainer shopping with your granddad, and he was like dead keen on you having a certain pair because what
Yeah.
that pair meant to him. Can you tell us a little bit more about your granddad and what their clothing tastes were and how that kind of rubbed off on you?
I used to spend most of my time with my grandparents, and he would take me clothes shopping and trainer shopping. There was like JJB just over there in Ancoats.
All right.
It's been like knocked down since. It was like Toys R Us was for me it was the hit. You finish school, you go, hey granddad, take me to Toys R Us. So he took me to Toys R Us. Then he was like, your trainers, let's go JJB. And then around the time, I'm talking like 92, 93. That was way before, like that was before like sneakers were a thing. Like
Yeah.
before size, before Offspring, it was kind of like you went to your sports shop and just got whatever you were given.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a clue either way, because I was like 4,
Yeah.
5. So I was just like, okay, cool, whatever. They have basketballs in the shop. Let's play with those. That's where my head was at. But then he picked out Nike because it was just one of the brands he associated with high quality. But then he was dripped out. Like he was like Dior, Lacoste, Hugo Boss. Like if it wasn't designer, it wouldn't touch his skin. So he was
Wow.
just like, he was about that. So he liked the way he looked, and he felt like it was a respect thing. Like you have to be dressed to kind of, as a respect thing, you have to dress well and you have to present yourself as well.
Project a certain image.
Yeah, and to fit in and kind of be like, it's disrespectful to dress slobby. That's what his vibe was. You know, you have to carry him a certain way.
Is that like a traditional Hong Kong mindset, do you think? Or something that was specific to him?
Maybe specific to him, but also like maybe coming as an immigrant when there was a time where there was like very few immigrants. So he felt like he had to assimilate and kind of be like, you know, go extra lengths to be like, look, I'm polite, like I'm here just to work, like, you know, I present himself well to fit in, because back then it was really important to look well, you know, like, everyone was suited and booted back in the day. There was no such thing as tracksuits. So it's kind of thing. So he was like fully polo shirt all the time, and then wearing like plaid suit pants, smoking like Benson Hedges, just chilling. That was his vibe.
I see some pics, man. You have to dig some out.
Yeah, I'll dig some out. Yeah, it's cool.
Sounds very inspiring.
Yeah, he was a style icon, I think. He was whipping around in the BMW, and it was like the 3 Series and like Mercedes, and I was like, that, I don't know, subconsciously, maybe I thought like he's a don, you know? And then I still have his coat now, and my grandma was trying to throw it away, and I was like, you're not throwing away a Dior jacket, you're not doing that. So I wear that little double-breasted jacket. Yeah.
That's class. Yeah, I've got a couple of, my granddad died about 10 years ago now, and I've still got a few bits and pieces, like a scarf that he had, and it does, you know, every time you look at them or put them on, you do get that kind of flash of memory or flash of connection with someone. I take it he's not here anymore.
No.
Right, okay, yeah. So, yeah, it works, doesn't it? Clothes as a memento kind of thing.
Like sentimentals, as a sentiments, that's what I mean. Like attachment for certain things happens, you know, from memory as well. So like, you know, you wear a pair of shoes for a long time, you go through, you build memories with it. It's a sentiment to it. So that's also part to what I'm doing. It's not just like restoring a pair of shoes, like practically, I am, but at the same time you're restoring what memories associated with that shoe.
Sick.
That's what I see.
That's beautiful, man. I believe one of the inspirations for Sneaker Pharm was a trip you had to LA, and I've heard you calling trainers sneakers before. Is American sneaker culture a big influence on your taste?
I think a lot of, well, I mean, I didn't grow up with the 110 thing. I grew up with Vans, and like, because maybe from music scene, like all the hardcore bands were in like Vans and stuff like that, and like cheap shoes.
That's an American thing.
It wasn't that big here, but then they had the moment here where everyone wore Vans. But I was wearing Vans like when I was like 13, 14. And Converse and Vans were like the main things that we would wear, and they were 35 quid each, which is wild, because then you think about it now, like it's gone through the roof. And then around that time, the NMD kicked off. I think that, for me, I think that was the first instance of shoes really being hyped, because I think people were going to London, it was in newspapers. Oh, people queuing up at London for this Adidas shoe that went for £1,000 and stuff like that. That was the first boom of like sneaker hype, I think, for me. But then I remember what other kids wore, like older than me in school, because we took the coach to school. Nike Riffs and Huaraches were massive back in the day. I think that was like the first wave of everyone wearing them. I just was like, oh, they look kind of gross, because I like Vans are kind of like a simple shoe.
Then these look too busy.
They look too busy and like too out there. But then now I get it. I understand why. It's kind of like a legendary shoe. But I'm influenced heavily by that American scene, because it was more of a scene there than UK. Like I think UK was very much just 110s, 98s, 95s, 97s. Reebok classics. And that was the vibe. And then like not much else. But then like American, you had like the Jordan thing, the Timberland thing, and all that stuff.
Dunks.
And then
so this LA trip specifically, was that the first time you've been over to the States?
It was, as like a free thinking adult. So I was like, I was like 20 or something. I can't remember. Or 27.
What is it that you think you saw over there that kind of like ignited a trainer passion?
It was around the time that, I was like, it was a pivotal point in my life. And I was like, look, I was probably depressed at the time. I don't know, but like, it wasn't a good time. Then someone said, look, if you don't change what you do now, in 5 years' time, you're going to be in the exact same situation. So I was like, right, done. Like, we're going to go do the holiday I've never been to. So I went to Coachella, did that thing, and then went to LA. Spent like 3 weeks in LA just walking around, just looking at like inspirations and stuff. And I knew of Jason Marks around the time, because 2016, 17, sneaker hype had just started bubbling in the UK. So I went there, spoke to them a lot, and they were just like, just inspiring. So it's like looking around, like it's more than just cleaning shoes. And then that's when that kind of inspired me to kind of go, right, well, you can probably do something similar. I like the culture aspect of it, and I like it was basically fashion, because at the time, like, you had the Dior collab with Jordan, and then you had Supreme with Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
So streetwear and high fashion became one thing. I think that was huge for me, because it was like, I could be part of this.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in the ivory tower. I can just be me.
You can approach it from your angle.
I think so, yeah. Virgil was he was really inspirational in that. I think he was integral in that, to be able to be like, look, someone like me could do that.
That's not me.
I know you started your own business after a bit of a quarter-life crisis before that trip to LA.
Yeah, very much so.
The cleansing thing.
Yeah.
But previously you worked as a solicitor.
Yeah.
Do you look back at that person, and more specifically the clothes that you wore as that person, and think, nah, that's not me, that?
No, I mean, it's not really, because I think that was a good point where it kind of, what you wore kind of set you apart from other people. So let's say, like, a suit does say a lot about you, more so than, like, you know, casual wear, like sportswear, because it's like the cut of a suit is important. Like, every aspect of it is details. So then it kind of transcended my passion from that to kind of where it is now. It's kind of, without that attention to detail, I would have been like, whatever, I just wear clothes, like, I'll go next and buy clothes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it was a really crucial point. Like, I don't look back and think, oh, I didn't want to do that. I mean, I'd love to wear a suit right now. It's that feeling of like, look, I feel good, so if I feel good, I perform good. Like the Jordan thing, it's the same thing. Like, sportswear, I'm comfortable, so I feel comfortable. That's the thing. So
is that
time and place.
Was it like into the office in the city centre every day, always in two-piece suit kind of thing? Was that the uniform, or was there more room for expressing something other than that? Or
I mean, I've always liked suits, so I was like three-piece suit, and then they had like made to measure and stuff, and then like I think Tom Sweeney, I think that's a brand, not Tom Sweeney. No, there's a brand from London. They were a Mayfair brand, but then, like, I was reading GQ, and like David Gandy would wear three-piece suits and stuff like that. I was like, he's stacked, so he looks good, but let's try to get near that. So then I would get like made-to-measure suits from online and kind of wear them out, and then eventually I'd break that down to be like, look, it's a bit, people perceive you as differently. So I thought, right, move away from that. That was, in answering your question, that was the point where I was like, it's kind of disconnecting when you're wearing a suit. So it's like, well, how do we just humanize myself? You just don't wear a suit.
And people react to you in a very different way.
Yeah, man.
I know with Sneaker Pharm that sustainability is at the forefront of your ethos and your kind of outlook on the world. Was the kind of box fresh mentality of that Jordan, Dunk, NMD era that you referenced a bit of a stimulus for your kind of taking a look at things a bit more sustainably?
I've always been a kind of like, buy one thing and have it for a long time. It came down from like liking music. So there would be like, people would buy guitars and just have them for years. I mean, it's a bit different, you can't wear a guitar, but like, it was kind of, you buy one thing and then the memory, the dinks, the scratches on it kind of tell a story and kind of like go with you on a journey.
Yeah, man.
So they came from that, and like, you know, amplifiers like Orange amps, Marshall amps, and then all the old stuff is cool. So it's always been touted as like old stuff is good. So I think that's ingrained in me, like vintage as well. Like, it's kind of being sustainable in a way where you buy something that's really good and just have it for a long period of time. It's never been like, I'll buy something, throw it away and get something new the next day. I think it's just always been in me, kind of like, wear something good. Maybe my granddad, buy something good, cost a bit more, but it lasts way longer.
And do you think that the sneaker world specifically is missing that? It's not got the built to last thing that some other types of shoes have?
There's two parts to that, because I've got shoes which are from like 10, 15 years ago, which are fine, but it comes down to consumer, I think, and consumer habits. I think that's the hardest thing. Like, no one's pointing a gun at your head saying, buy these Jordans. No one's doing that. It's the market that's buying it and having the need to buy something new the next week to fit in. I think there's just needs to be a change in consumer behavior. Kind of like, look, really, I think I've seen a trend towards it. People buying higher quality pieces and they're buying less now. Which is great. I mean, maybe partly because like the cost of living and stuff, people and like lockdown, people really like researching, I like this knife, but can I get a better knife like I'd pay more for it.
Yeah,
You know, do
that'll stop me
more
having to buy
research.
6 knives to do the same job, or
That's it. So
another
they do
knife
more research.
next year when this one isn't worth sharpening anymore.
That's it. There's more research into stuff, and if people are slowing down in a way, which is kind of nice to see.
Yeah.
It's the consumers that need to change, but then also the market kind of needs to adapt to that as well.
Yeah. I read that even as a little lad, you were really drawn to timeless design. I think you name-checked a Braun alarm clock and an Eleki toothbrush as 2 bits of classic electronic design that you particularly cherished. Is that interest something that has come with you all the way from childhood to where you are now?
Yeah, because we were having this. Well, I was having this conversation with my dad the other day. I ordered a flight case specifically custom made for this event for Clark's, and he came as it was being delivered. He just saw the van pull up. He was like, "Nah, you didn't do it again, did you? You spent stupid money on something that you don't need." And he pulled it out, and he was like, "Vin, like I know you're like artistic and you love this stuff." But stop spending money on all this cool stuff because it looks nice. I'm like, well, it's practically speaking, it's good.
And it lasts.
And it lasts as well.
Yeah.
So he's seen that as me growing up. I've always been into like guitars and stuff. I think it all comes down to like guitars and music. I love the way guitars look. And then cars, I'm a huge Porsche fan.
Yeah.
So there's that, and it's timeless design. But
Tell us about this flight case then. Is it a thing of beauty as well as being functional?
Anything custom made flight casey looking it appeals to me because it's like it's built for a specific
For the
purpose. Yeah, for the job, to my spec, and it's got shiny metal things on it.
I can see the appeal, mate. Yeah.
So it's great.
And it's going to look after your other ship. You know, the stuff that you're putting in it is going to be safe and protected.
I think so. That's the key. So I need to know it works. And then the cool thing is it's made by a motorsport company, so that's kudos. But yeah, thinking back to all the little things, like Braun was the thing that I woke up with. Like it was just a throwaway thing that my dad bought, my parents bought. It was just a black alarm clock with like yellow dial with yellow seconds hand.
Yeah,
that was it. And I could remember the sound it made as well. So I grew up with that, and then the Braun was huge, and then that moved on. Similar to like iPods, the first iPod Touch or whatever.
It's beautiful to hold in your hand and to interact with.
I like things like tangible objects like speakers and stuff like that, or like something that you can hold and feel. I love it, and it all comes down to good design is better than rubbish design.
And good design is by definition sustainable as well. I don't think people give this enough credence really, because if you've got something that you want to use and you want to keep using, you're not going to get rid of it or throw it away, and it can just be the beauty that makes it sustainable, to make you want to get it repaired. It might not be made from the best recycled materials or something like that, but if it's beautiful, it's going to last you forever and you're going to be pleased with it forever.
Such a good point. So applied to shoes, that's such a great point, because like para boots, I mean, they are kind of sustainable, but they're expensive. They're designed well, but they last long. But then Veja tout themselves as like using sustainable materials, but they don't last as long. That's the thing. So
toss up in it.
Yeah. So like,
and aside, off mic, I think they look like shit as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of they're targeting a mass audience, and they're kind of saying that we're sustainable, we're blah blah blah. But like, if the shoe doesn't last, it doesn't matter how sustainable your materials are. You're going to throw it away.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's about good design first, and then being sustainable, because through, like you said, good design is sustainable.
So tell us a little bit more about the everyday graft that people don't see with Sneaker Pharm. I know you clean and you've had a few big name collaborations, but yeah, tell us a bit about the kind of hidden behind the scenes stuff that you have to do to run an independent business.
Number one is always like a mental battle. So like, there's overheads associated with running a business. Everyone has overheads, but it's like, it's quite a lot here. So I think Kim Jones from Dior said this. He was saying, don't let money drive what you need to do, because when you do that, you're not creative. And I used to think like, he's got a point.
Yeah.
But like, it's hard to embody that
level.
Yeah,
right.
Really hard to embody that when you're paying the rent.
Yeah.
But then I knew what it meant, because this year was been tough. So when I moved in, it was kind of adjusting to the change in overheads. This costs money, this costs money, this costs money, this costs money. So it was
getting
kind
your
of
shutters fixed costs money.
Everything costs money. So like the bins cost money. Like, all the stuff that I took for granted in Hatch, I had to pay all of a sudden. So it was like, culture shock. And then it was the point where I was like, I'm making no money. I'm here from like 12 till 10, 11 at night, making nothing really, enough to pay the rent.
Yeah.
Can you keep this up? Like, it was that mental battle to be like, it'll be okay, it'll be okay, it'll be okay. I had like loads of people around me that were kind of like, you'll be all right. But then it's embodying that. So a lot of it is a mental battle in the sense, and then also physical. So I'm on my own. So again, with the overheads, you need enough demand to cover the overheads, but then you need enough money to cover staff if you get staff.
Yeah.
So right now I'm at that awkward position where it's kind of building up, but I'm not there yet to get staff. So it's like you have to battle it yourself to do the work before you get the staff.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's a thing that everyone goes through. So I think other business owners, my friends were like saying, you just need to take the risk and just jump for it and get staff.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's the thing that I'm moving next. But the day-to-day battles, like just everything, like sweeping the floor. This shop's massive.
Yeah, man, it's huge.
So like one of those things, you're in the zone, you're like working away, and you've made a huge mess, and you're like, oh, okay, and then you zoom out, and you're like, oh no, this needs to be swept up, needs to be mopped, everything needs to be looking a certain way. So there's that on top.
Yeah,
it's just man. Day-to-day stuff. Going to the post office is a mission as well.
Yeah, I guess on the money side of things, that obviously, if you can't afford to have the place that you're in, then you can't do what you're going to do. But sometimes, like historically, a lack of money or a lack of resources or the grind that you have to do has fueled creativity. And a lot of, you look at hip hop music, it's kind of built out of economic circumstances that force people to make music in a certain creative way. Yeah. I know it's not always easy, but maybe that's the kind of blueprint for what you're doing, remixing what you can get your hands on to create something beautiful that you can make money out of eventually.
That's a great point. It's the pressure that you get. So if I didn't have the pressure behind me going like, you need to break even or you need to do this, I wouldn't be working as hard as I am.
Yeah.
On the same vein, it's kind of like, if I think too much about money as well, you're not as creative, because at the start I was trying to pander to what I thought everyone wanted.
Yeah.
Market doesn't know what it wants.
Yeah.
That's the biggest switch in my head. It was kind of like, fuck the market, what do they know? Like, I know more about the stuff than the market does.
You're the expert,
it's like
man.
Putting out what I think is cool. Like I said from the beginning, it's like, if it represents me, I'm putting it out there. If people like it, they like it. If they don't, then it's not for them. So that's where I'm at now.
Top 3 selected.
As a lover of timeless design, which we mentioned before, can you give us a top 3 timeless bits of stuff that you own, like the most kind of 3 most prized possessions? It could be clothes, electronics, furniture, whatever you want.
Ooh, mainly guitar. Like a guitar I built for myself. It's like a Fender Jazzmaster.
Wow.
So I built that in lockdown. Just because I haven't been playing guitar in ages, and I just missed having a tangible thing.
Yeah.
So I built that, did the whole thing.
What did you do? Source loads of parts on eBay and kind of sew them all together into...
That's it, yeah. Parts Jazzmaster.
Is it that we can see over there in the shadows?
Yeah, sure.
Beautiful, man, yeah. I'll get it.
Oh, you're going to get it? Yeah, all right. So yeah, I built this. It was a lockdown project. I think everyone had a lockdown project, but I actually finished mine.
Beautiful, man. It's stunning. Like, look at the finish. Look at the kind of the perfect imperfections around the outside, man.
Yeah, so this is actually gun oil. So when I got the body, there was nothing to it.
Yeah.
It was just plain, I think maple maybe. And then I stained it with wood staining and then finished it in Tonga oil, which is what they use for shotguns.
Class.
So it's got like this weird patina on it, like some of it's come away. But this is what I'm talking about, imperfections and stuff. Like,
it's all about patina, man.
Yeah, imperfections.
Especially the one that you yourself have created.
Yeah, and this is like through play. So when I did it first, it was all like kind of browny walnut color.
Yeah.
Because I think George Harrison had a really nice little Telecaster.
Yeah.
With this walnut finish, but I can't afford that. So I was like, how to get a simmer? And then I've been playing it to the point where it's kind of worn out a little bit in areas. And this is like character. This is what I like about worn shoes and stuff like that, and clothes which are old. You wouldn't get this in like a new, if you bought a new body, you don't get any of this. This is like a storytelling. This is what's gone along the journey with me, and each knock and dink I did. So embrace it. Like, it doesn't have to be box fresh.
Beautiful.
To be nice looking.
Fine layer of dust, as the Lars used to say.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of layer of dust.
Literally.
Yeah. So this is probably one of my favorite things. And then,
all right, wicked. That's one. The guitar. Tell us about the next one.
Yeah, the second item is a trench coat. It's like a double-breasted long coat, herringbone, like fabric, and it's not like normal herringbone, which is kind of hard. Super soft. It was one of my granddad's jackets. He never wore it really because it was just too flex, I guess. But then when he passed away, my grandma just put loads of his stuff together and tried to get rid of it. I was like, no, don't be throwing that. And then being Chinese, she was like, no, you can't wear that. It's not good. It's not good juju or whatever. Like, it belongs to someone who's passed away. You shouldn't wear it. I was like, I don't care.
So that's a cultural thing. You don't wear the clothes of someone that's died.
Yeah.
Wow,
that's the thing. Yeah,
fascinating, man.
Thing. It's a stigma behind it, so it's like you shouldn't be wearing that.
So how does she feel when she saw you take that? Did she think it was going to be bad look?
I explained to her, it reminds me of Granddad.
Yeah,
You can't take that away from me. And she was like, oh, in that sense, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, now you see it from a different perspective, and it's like, and then she's seen me wear it since. She's like, that is really nice.
Yeah.
I'm like, of course it is.
Yeah.
Like, you paid a lot of money for this.
Yeah, man. Well done for rescuing it.
Yeah, and it reminds me of him. And then there's some pants along with that set that I'm going to try to get cut up and then remade in a different fabric. So like I keep the pattern because it's like a really nice pair of flannel Dior pants again.
Yeah.
But they're wide fit, and it had like a, what they called now? What they called?
A pleat.
Yeah, had a pleat in it. And I was
Right.
like, this is sick. So if I can get that remade, I will do. That's in the works.
It's a project.
Yeah. And then it's just being creative with what you have.
Yeah.
And then the third item.
That's still got that Braun alarm clock knocking around, or the electric toothbrush, have you?
It's knocking about in my head. I look at that. Yeah. It's the reason why I bought these Vitsu shelves, because he designed these as well. So it's timeless. And I think mainly, probably my sewing machine.
Yeah, go on then. Tell us about this. What you're rocking? What's your sewing machine?
It's hard to believe. Like 2 years ago, I didn't know how to sew.
Yeah.
So one of my friends gave me one of their old machines and was like, "You can learn on this," and I learned that. And since it's blown up to like 3 or 4 machines now, and I know what I'm doing. So it's kind of cool. I think just any sewing machine, I just see it as like a
empowering object.
Yeah, vehicle for like possibility.
Yeah,
like, I've seen you do some bits as well.
Well, I've got a sewing lesson next Monday, actually, my first one, but I've been following YouTube tutorials and stuff. I'm sure you could teach me a thing or two, man. A vehicle of possibility.
Yeah, that's
gorgeous, mate.
That's what I see business as, is possibility. That's what again, it comes down to that money thing. Like, you set aside the money thing, then what are you doing business for? It's the love of what you're doing.
Yeah.
It sounds cliche, but you need to really love it to keep your sanity. And the second of is, it's a vehicle for possibility. I didn't know that when I started that I'd be messing with like Nike, Clark, Umbro, Keen, all these guys like knocking on my door, not the other way around. I didn't know that would happen. And it's like, what's around the corner? Who knows? Like, that's what excites me. It's what gets me out of bed. Like, I didn't know you'd message me and you messaged me. I'm like, I'm on this podcast now.
Yeah, man.
Which is sick. Like, that's the possibility. And then who knows where this leads?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully the message will get out to a few more people that might not have heard it before. So,
it's dope. Like, that's what I like doing.
So leading on from that, I want some heroes and villains of the shoe world, please. Like, you can sling people under the bus if you want, but maybe start off by telling us what brands you think are building stuff that really does stand the test of time, and conversely, who are the bad guys, who's making shit for landfills.
Oh man, okay, I could open myself up to a lot of hate here, but like, I think most brands would be doing what they're doing on autopilot. They're just putting out stuff that people want. At the end of the day, most brands are owned by big companies. They're big, huge companies. They're like they have stakeholders.
Yeah.
So they sell shares, and then people buy shares into them. They're ultimately the people they have to account for.
Yeah.
So if Nike aren't doing good, they're going to have to answer for it, because people are like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So whatever their decisions to do were for the stakeholders, not so much for the brand itself. It's kind of like being forced to do, like when you have investors, you need to account for investors.
Yeah.
So you can't be doing like creative stuff which makes no money, but it's cool for the public. Like, I think it's cool, but it's commerce at the end of the day. It has to make money. So commerce is the evil of all things. It's the one that, like, it kills creativity. Like, capitalism doesn't care about creativity. It's one of those things. It's kind of like, if I'm thinking of a cool design, like, I've got loads of cool ideas, but it's like, well, what's the point? Are people going to buy it? It's taking that leap. So like Clint Jr., he's done a bit. I hear a lot about him. I've not met him yet, but like, we're both Manchester based, but I like how he's done it. It's got that punk attitude to be like, fuck you, I do what I want.
Yeah.
And it's so cool and empowering, because it's like, he's taken something from nothing to make something, and he's created like a cool community behind it.
And when you get a Clint's pair in for cleaning, have you had them in?
Yeah, I've had a few. Yeah, they're good.
Feel like solid stuff when they're in hand.
Usually the people that wear them get them hammered, so they go like, they're usually just been to warehouse, they're absolutely nailed. So it's that demographic he's going for. But you know, they're made in Portugal. I don't know too much more about how it is. Design's not for me really. It's just a bit too out there. But like,
it's for young people, isn't it?
yeah. It's for younger people. That's what I mean. Going warehouse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's cool. His brand's he's done bits.
Yeah, man, they're smashing it.
It's the sense that he doesn't account for stakeholders. He's just himself.
Yeah, so he doesn't have that commercial nag.
Yeah, that's what I like about independence. Like Tim as well, I respect him because what he's doing is really pushing the boat out in Manchester. I'm thinking, how do you aren't you not worried just doing this stuff in Manchester? He's like, well, I've got enough, I don't sell just to Manchester.
Yeah.
He's thinking like, he's playing chess, I'm playing checkers. So like, I respect him because he's really pushing the boat. Anyone who's willing to do what they really believe in and push it out there, regardless of what the market wants, it gets my vote, basically.
Yeah, man. Big up everyone doing it for themselves. What is next for Sneaker Pharm then, man? Any exciting collabs in the pipeline that you can tell us about?
Most of the stuff would be under wraps, I think, but I just take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Like for me, I used to get upset about like other brands being, the collab here, collab there, but I'm like, it doesn't matter as long as it has to resonate with my audience and their audience. At the end of the day, it's all commerce, so they have to make money, and I have to be able to be like, I can make you money somehow, or we can make money together. But creatively, I like when people just say, here's a blank canvas.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
Is that the element that excites you most about what you do?
The possibility. Again, it comes down to that. Like, for me, it's just doing what I do well, but improving my skills over to that. And I think maybe down the line, I'm designing a shoe right now.
Sick, man.
But it's not related to any brand. This is like my own thing.
This is the kind of tidbits that I was hoping to pick up of you. That's very exciting.
So I've not mentioned it like on camera or anything. Like it's always just been an idea. So like people close to me know like, oh, he's working towards something.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be like groundbreaking or anything, but it's going to be weird. It's going to be something that I think is kind of fun.
I wouldn't expect anything else from you, man.
And just add something new to the market rather than like, oh, it's another shoe from like another brand no one cares about. You know what I mean? It's kind of my take on something. It'll probably be like made to order. Like think what Paraboot would do, but like weird.
Beautiful, man. Can't wait to see and cop.
Yeah.
Final question for you today. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about clothes / sneakers?
It underpins everything I do. So I appreciate everything there is out there. There's some things I don't appreciate. Like I see like there's a lot of brands now in footwear industry that are kind of jumping on it to make quick money. Like these, I don't know, they're really badly made shoes.
All right.
But then they have a market and they're charging $160 for it. So I'm like, I get a shoe and I look at the construction, look at how it's made, look at the materials, and then look how beat they are and the flimsiness of it. And I look at the brand name, like, what even is this? And then I search online, like, $170. They're charging like big money for a shoe that's shit, basically. They don't care that they're putting out shit. They just want to make money. I'm like, but think about what you're putting out there. You're wasting the material that could be used for something else. Or like the resources, the amount of diesel that is shipping that shoe from Portugal to here. Come on, man.
So there's a lot to not love, but you personally, where do you stand on that scale?
I love what I do and I love the industry because again, it's just open to creative stuff, and it's like it's an amalgamation of different industries. So you got like music and fashion go hand in hand. So that's it for me. And then like a communication, it's all semiotics as well. It's just like communication in society. So let's say like you wear Stone Island, and then you go outside, and then people who wear Stone Island go, oh, and you got that thing in common.
Yeah.
Immediately, just from the visual aspect, and then it's a way of communication without communicating.
Yeah,
and I love that.
And that creates community, I guess, doesn't it, as well, which is an important thing.
The thing that I don't like is there's more focus on trends now.
Right.
I don't like that. I like people being individual and kind of wearing whatever they want, regardless of, oh, that's so last season.
Yeah.
Like, who cares if it's so last season?
Yeah, timelessness is the hottest trend of forever, I think.
So, yeah.
It seems like a good place to leave it, dude. Thanks a million for doing it. Thanks for having us in the shop. And if you've not been down before, get down to Dale Street and knock on.
Yeah, knock on. Don't be afraid. There's a doorbell situation, but yeah, pop on through and then I can take a look at your shoes.
Wicked, man. Big up.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Nice
Thanks.
one, dude.
Cheers, dude.
What a legend. That is proper love of clothes, that, innit? What Vin's doing in Manchester is mint. Go and drop in on his shop and take a battered pair of trainers or a mutant design concept along with you. He will sort you out. Okay, thanks a lot for being here. If you want more My Own Garms content, then get onto our Substack. We are at My Own Garms on there. We've got loads of good articles taken from the FitPick breakdown apps and plenty of other cool stuff in the pipeline. It's a bit less doom scrolling than Insta 2, so you can pretend that it's good for your head. Big shout out to Ethan Roberts for making all that stuff happen. Appreciate you, pal. Cool, that'll do for now. See you back here for the Fitbit breakdowns in a few days. Nice one.